Justin Bell here on location in Colorado for Shut Up and Drive. What is Shut Up and Drive? Well, those of you that haven't caught us on Fox Sports 1, it's really, I guess, the culmination of a lot of guys' dreams all put into one. We have an amazing production crew that really came up with this idea that have you never driven along that ideal country road or see this amazing mountain pass or driving alongside a riverbed and gone, God, you know what? What's missing here is if I could just have this to myself, it would be absolutely perfect. So really that's the genesis of the idea. And we got together with Lexus and they provide the vehicles for us to get on and really do what everybody at home wants to do. Lots of friends of mine always say, so JB, what is it you actually do when you take off on Shut Up and Drive? Because surely they really don't let you and your partner in crime loose for real, but actually genuinely they do. We have a lot of fan interaction. People choose our roads, you know, their favorite roads, and then we, through a voting process, select which one is right for us. And you know, there are so many amazing roads in North America that it's actually pretty tough to narrow it down, but always they have a couple of factors in common. One is normally quite remote, because obviously that is where you find some of the best roads. That's why local knowledge is so key. The other thing is they tend to have a little bit of danger on the side. Sometimes you wonder whether our fans are more interested in seeing us like leap off the edge of a cliff than they are putting a car through its paces. But I guess that's what makes a road so cool, isn't it? Because if you get the chance to drive, you know, what is arguably a pretty speedy car without limitations on a road, on the open road, then it has to have a bit of danger involved. So what's special about 141 Colorado? Well, until I got here, I must tell you, I knew very little about it. I knew that we were heading towards what was a quite remote part of town. I mean, obviously you come into Grand Junction and then drive about 90 minutes to get out here. It really is, I'm going to use the word pioneering road because it has that sort of vibe to it in the fact that it follows the course of the Dolores River, which is actually in times like 500-600 feet below you. And it's all about, it sort of captivates the era of the gold rush and you see all these flumes and all this stuff. But I think that's what's great about this road. I mean, what we do when we have the police, we lock off the road either end. And for example, when we did one actually in the hills above Malibu, it literally was like a parking lot either side of our police checkpoints. But here, we probably see about 3 cars an hour, which I think speaks to the fact that this is a road where really only the locals get to know, especially this part of it. I'd also say that what makes it special is it is captivating. I mean, you can see behind me the rocks there. As high as those are, they're as low down the other side of this parking lot, and it plummets down. And what was funny, our producer said to Reese and I, just take a look down there. And this wasn't confidence inspiring at all. He said, take a look down there and all you can see is the rotting, rusting, hulking wrecks of people that did not make the left-hand turn. There's a guardrail there now, but that is obviously after a few people did the Superman thing. And actually half the time we have trouble finding exactly which section of a road to shut down for our race, because especially here on 141 in Colorado, we literally had about 28 miles from the hotel. At any point, we could have chosen our 2-mile segment. And I think that's what's amazing about it. These shows they're not travel shows, but we're definitely experiencing and absorbing our environment. And here it's just off the hook. And it makes you realize that as people that live our lives fast, and I'm sure everyone watching this are people that like to drive fast and live fast, sometimes you've got to slow down. And right below us is this amazing winding Dolores River that is kind of crying out for a kayak and a tent and a little slower pace, but not this week. And of course, this episode of Shut Up and Drive here in Colorado, I have a new partner in crime, and I didn't know that much about Reese other than the fact that it seems that he's done every commercial you ever see and obviously all the big movies. But then I watched him do his Pike Pete's record-setting run a few years ago, and it was almost the worst thing I could have done, because I'm like, oh crap, this guy's going to be electrifying. And I have to admit, I was pretty impressed. But that's kind of what this show's about. We come from different backgrounds, but in the end, it's all about car control and liking to go fast and respecting equipment. And it's the ultimate opportunity to drive fast where normally you'd have to really behave yourself. And I really like misbehaving.